And welcome back to Capital Talk. This one is smoking, folks. My goodness. Sit back. Tony Gashoka has appeared on the bench and he's holding nothing back. Guns blazing. Sit back. So, Tony, that letter apparently that slipped its way into Parliament, purportedly from the UK government, saying that, hey, among other things, Kibaki's going down.
Okay, first of all, both you and I must have the utmost respect for Parliament. And we must say at the beginning that we respect the National Assembly as an arm of government. However, every information that I have is that that letter was a forgery. Now, for an honorable member of Parliament to use Parliament and the privileges that Parliament protects people by what they do in Parliament, from civil suits and other action, is, in my view, one of the worst absurdities that a person purporting to be a leader can purport to do. First, you are raising an issue of a friendly government. The United Kingdom and the people of Kenya are friends. The peoples of the two countries are friends. The governments are just protocols of treaties and of good order. And being a former director of protocol, I know how much work it means when a country has a good impression of another country, both in terms of trade, tourism, balance of payments, of various goods and services. It impacts a lot. And when countries fall apart from each other, it affects really trade in a serious way. For example, Argentina and Britain are still in trouble over the Falklands. There's still, ugly words that are changed between them. So what Parliament did was wrong. Those, and not Parliament in its entirety, but those members of Parliament who purported to draw in this matter of the letter and it was a forgery was wrong. Number two, they greatly injured, in my view, the cases for the people who are accused before the International Criminal Court.
It makes it worse.
It makes it terrible, Jeff. Because if you are going to copy in a forged letter that the president of the ICC is involved in a conspiracy with the British government to find some people guilty, and you are going to put that letter into the public domain, obviously to find itself to the ICC. Now, if you are a judge at the ICC and you are seated there, and you are looking at this and saying, these people in Kenya, impunity, you wouldn't be happy.
No.
So how does it help the accused people?
It makes us look really bad.
So it is just the same way you saw that incident when William Ruto was before the court, when some handler was speaking to Kass FM and making comments that were almost dangerous to him. These are people who in Nairobi are not charged before the court, but they are not lawyers, and they are making statements whose repercussions can fatally affect cases that are before the International Criminal Court. And for those reasons, I am saying there needs to be an overhaul, a rethink of the way in which there is an approach towards the ICC by the people who are before it. And I'm saying whether it is political friends or legal teams, they can end up hurting my brother Uhuru fatally.
Right. And this is why the theme for this week, Tony, it seems, I mean, in all this madness, the inmates have taken over the asylum.
And when Jeff, you know what happens in a responsible country like ours? The fourth estate moves in. And the fourth estate, and no wonder it was called so, moves in and says, this is utter madness. Correct. We go to the people. The court of public opinion is the only one that matters. You tell the people, listen, these guys have gone insane. And the people are the people who eventually make these people change their ways. Correct. And I want to give you examples where this has changed. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda is an oasis of peace. It used to be a disaster. Look at Uganda. Yoweri Museveni went with some 16-year-old boys with guns blazing. And look at Uganda today. The country has come down because the people reached a point where they said we need to stay free. We need to stay peaceful. And I'm saying, my worry is this. Kenyans saw violence in 2007, 2008. This is a country still suffering with IDPs. This is a country suffering with poverty, where people live below $2 a day. Will you think Kenyans want to be sure that we are going to have a peaceful, prosperous Kenya? Or do they want this uncertainty? And all I am saying is that these matters are creating uncertainty.
They are.
When you create panic that the president is going to be picked up, you create, after his retirement, when you create panic that the British government is after certain communities, if those communities were not mature, they would have reacted. This was aimed at making those communities react. I thank God that the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin community did not react. But this is provocation. And that is why I'm saying, even the comments by the Prime Minister added on top of this, make the situation from bad to worse. So neither Parliament is good, nor the Prime Minister is good. If you ask me, we put all these guys in one cart and we throw them in the ocean. And we bring brand new generation of leadership.
Fresh
in
leaders.
Yeah,
Fresh.
if you ask me, the whole lot of them, Jeff.
Tony, let me talk about publication for a while, because Nairobi Law Monthly, I can't stop talking about this one, because for the first time, I mean, every time Ahmed Nasir has been very bold, but this time he's got guts like I've never seen, because splashing headline by John Ward, the father of Julie Ward, killed in 1988. His murder unsolved to this day, but the headline is screaming allegedly that Jonathan Moy allegedly raped and killed Julie Ward. Headline, and about 30-page article inside. Gutsy, man, it's gutsy.
It is. First of all, let me say from the onset, Abdul Nasir is a credible individual. He's standing as a lawyer and in his public life has lived an extraordinary life of public service. So I would first of all say anything that he writes is something that should be looked at seriously by anybody who reads it. That's number one. Number two, he's one of the sharpest lawyers in this town. And he's not unaware about the laws of libel or defamation or such. So he would be fully aware when writing such a matter that he's writing something in the great public interest, or he's writing something in his view where he has got the factual basis. The cardinal rule of journalism is that facts are free, but opinion is free, but facts are sacred. And therefore, he must either have an opinion or have the facts. Now, knowing Ahmed Nasir well, he would never have gone to write such an article without either of those two cardinal rules of journalism. Now, the country having been able to get such a headline in the past, impossible.
Yeah, in your time.
Oh God, detention without trial. They will pick you up, they will come in GSU, you know, everybody will come, break it up and so on. Now Kenyans are beginning to have to realize that even the princes, even those who live in principalities can be exposed. And it is important because, Jeff, I think Moi got a lot away with too much. And as a person, Moi detained people without trial, almost killed Kenneth Matiba. The Oko murder was never solved. The Julie Ward issue was never done. The looting of public assets was never fully brought to an end, including Goldenberg, which was one of the biggest financial scams that sent me to jail. So Moi managed to just get away into retirement. And I believe that there is a being up there that's looking back at Moi and hating him. Whether it's his son Philip, whether it's his son Jonathan, somewhere he's telling Moi, you didn't do good to this country. And before long, the whole weight of the or the wrong things that happened under Moi are beginning to come out. Now, if this is part of that, that process is irreversible, because the new constitution now gives everybody the right to information. And the media is going to get more and more bold. And I get this feeling that very soon, many things about Moi are going to be said that have never been said before. And if you doubt it, you look at the cases in court today between Okemo and Gishoro, and what's going on about allegations about financial inappropriacy. So the fact that it was done long ago doesn't mean it will never come out. And I want to tell you, Moi's skeleton is full. The closet is full of many skeletons. And I'm telling you, many are going to come out.
It's not over yet.
And the bench won't have enough time to cover them all.
Skeletons on the bench.
Then I'm telling you, many things are going to come out.
All right, let's look ahead, Tony. Looking forward. Who do you see as the two most likely candidates going into the election, the two front runners? Let's say, all things being equal, if Uhuru and Ruto are out of the picture, who do you see as a leading candidate?
First of all, I'm not going to go on public saying that my brother Uhuru will be out of the picture. I can't say that. Okay? So I will not give my observation on who can be candidates on the premise that Uhuru is out of the picture. I believe he's going to be a candidate, and I pray well for him, and I would never want those words to come from my mouth. The second point is that regardless of Uhuru running and being in the race, I see Western Province as as the straw, or what do they say? The one that broke the camel's back.
Yes, the straw.
The straw that broke the
Yes.
camel's back. When I started working with Eugene Wamalwa, I said 2 years ago, the problem will come from Western. Now, the real thing you need to know is that you don't understand Western politics. So I better tell it to you as it is. Western province politics began with Senator Wamalwa, Eugene's father.
Correct.
No, the father, senator. He was senator in 1965 to 1968. Wamalwa Kijana, his name is Michael Wamalwa. Yes. But he was called Kijana to differentiate between the senator and him when he came into the lower house. And he served from 1979 until the day he died as the 8th vice president. And then remember, there has been a war of various types. First, between Wamalwa